Hey everyone, this is Pallavi, and today we are diving into the 27th game from the book The Most Instructive Games of Chess Ever Played by Irving Chernev. Now, this was a consultation game which was played in Leipzig in 1888, and the opening was the Slav defense setting up a strategic battle far ahead of its time. So there were 8 players in this game. As white, the players were Tarrasch, Bardeleben, Schottlander, and Scheve, and as black, Mieses, Paulsen, and Riemann, and Gottschall. So without further ado, let's begin. So white started with d4, d5, c4, and then c6, Slav defense. Now white played knight c3, developing towards the center, and then knight f6, bishop g5. Now e3 is simple and strong. If black plays bishop to f5 to activate the bishop, a common problem in queen's pawn opening, and then c takes d5, c takes d5, queen b3 forces the bishop back to c8. The idea is has appeared before in classic games, and the result is clear. White comes out ahead in development. Now, after knight f6, bishop g5, and then black played e6, knight f3, bishop to d6. A better try was bishop e7, simply to get out of the pin on the knight. Bishop d6, now white played e3, black castled on the king side, white played bishop to d3. Knight b d7, white castled on the king side, and then rook to e8. Now white played queen to c2, threatening bishop takes h7, check, winning a pawn. Black played queen c7. It's a natural attempt to unpin the knight, but it leaves black with a cramped position. The alternative, bishop e7, isn't much better either, because after bishop takes f6 and then knight takes f6, then knight e5, followed by f4, white locks in a classic Pillsbury bind. So the safest way to meet the threat was simply knight f8 and support the h7 pawn. So black played queen c7, and then white played a good move, which is c5. Now this is timely. The bishop is no longer has this c7 square available. Bishop to e7. White played bishop f4, attacking the queen, queen to d8. Now white played b4, gaining space advantage on the queen side. Knight f8. Now white played another good move, h3. Now this gives the bishop a safe space, escape square actually, avoiding its exchange on h5. Now black played bishop to d7. Black's options are extremely limited. Only a handful of moves avoid immediate loss. White, by contrast, enjoys huge freedom with dozens of playable moves thanks to superior piece mobility. Now white played b5, queen to c8, a4, and then knight h5. It's pointless. The bishop can simply escape, but good moves are hard to come by. Bishop to h2. Now black played bishop d8, white pushed the pawn to a5 with the support of the rook on a1. Now black played bishop c7, a good practical idea. Black trades off a long range powerful bishop for one of his own that was poorly placed. Now it follows a classic rule: when you are cramped, exchange pieces to relieve the position. And if here white goes, if black had played c takes b5 instead, then knight takes b5, bishop takes b5, and then bishop takes b5, attacking the rook, and then knight blocks it, knight to d7, and then a6. Now white emerges with a passed c pawn after this gets exchanged. Now after a5, so black here played bishop to c7. Now white played bishop takes c7, queen takes c7. Now white played another good move, a6, trying to exchange and create a passed pawn maybe. Now bishop to b6, sorry, pawn to b6. And now if had black captured b takes a6, then b takes c6, bishop takes c6, rook takes a6, and now white has a strong passed pawn. So after b6, now white played b takes c6, bishop takes c6. If queen takes c6, then knight e5, queen c8, knight takes d7, knight takes d7, bishop takes h7, check, and white gains a pawn. But what if instead of knight, the queen takes the knight here? Then it loses the exchange by bishop to b5 with the support of the knight. So after b takes e6, then bishop takes c6, and now white played c takes b6. Black captured queen takes b6. If a takes b6 is played, white gets a passed rook pawn and immediate tactics after knight b5. Queen c8, knight d6 and follows, and white wins the exchange. Instead of queen c8, if queen d7, then knight e5 wins the bishop, which is doubly attacked by knight and the queen. So after c takes b6, black captured with the queen, and then rook f b1 attacking the queen. Queen to d8. Now queen c7 doesn't work either. After knight b5, white wins either the exchange or the bishop. As Tarrasch explains, even though the queenside play didn't produce passed pawn, it opened key lines of attack. The a pawn is extremely strong and supports white's pieces, and the overall advantage is overwhelming. Now after rook fb1, black played queen to d8, and now white played knight to e5, attacking the bishop. Bishop to d7. This move is forced, defining the bishop with defending the bishop with rook to c8, then knight c6, rook c6, and then bishop b5. It's a skewer. So notice how tactics start to appear naturally once a position is strategically superior. So after knight e5, bishop d7, now white played knight takes d7, black captured with the knight, because if queen takes knight, then again bishop to b5, it's a skewer. So knight takes d7, then bishop takes h7, check, attacking on one flank wins material on the other. King h8, bishop d3, knight b6. And then white played knight a4. The idea is to exchange knights and clear the b file. Now, black captured, knight takes knight on a4, queen takes a4, and then rook e7, guarding the 7th rank. But white played a good move, rook to b7. A beautiful outpost. The rook applies enormous pressure here on this rank, and it cannot be neutralized by exchanging rooks. So black played rook to c8, because if rook takes b7 and then a takes b7, rook b8, queen takes a7, and the threats of queen takes b8 followed by rook a8 are decisive. So rook c8, then white played rook a b1. Black played rook e c7. Now white's position is so strong that he has more than one forcing continuation. One example is rook takes c7. Then if queen takes c7, rook b7, queen c1 check, king h2, queen d2, queen d7, rook f8, and then queen takes f7, and white wins. Because checkmate is threatened, the knight and the rook are attacked, and white and black cannot capture the queen, because if rook takes c7, then it's a checkmate here because of the bishop. And so here after so that is one of the continuation. So rook at b7 here. After rook e c7, white played queen to a5. Now the queen is perfectly safe here. Now black played g6, rook c1, bishop to f1, and then here if instead of g6, let's say black plays rook to c1, in that case it's giving check. So rook takes c1, rook c1 check, king h2, and then queen takes a5, but rook b8 check, leading to checkmate in two moves. Like Rook blocks, captures, queen blocks and captures, checkmate. So black played g6. Now white played bishop f1. Knight f6, rook takes c7, queen takes c7. If black had captured with the rook, then rook b7, putting pressure on the pinned rook. Then rook d7, and then queen takes d8 check, rook takes d8, rook takes f7, knight d7, and then bishop b5, white wins easily. So after rook takes c7, black captured with the queen, and then queen takes c7, rook takes c7, rook b7. This square is the key to white's combination and positional play. Black is now forced to exchange rooks. Now knight e8 runs into bishop to b5, and something has to give. So now black captured, rook takes b7, pawn captured, a takes b7, and then from blocked pawn to near queen, just like that. So knight d7, stopping pawn from queening, bishop to b5. Knight b8, now white played h4. With black's knight trapped by the bishop and unable to escape, queenside play is temporarily frozen. So white now shifts plans, preparing to play g4 and then h5 to create a kingside passed pawn, then tying down black's king. That gives white all the needed to bring the king forward and eventually capture the trapped knight. So now black played king g7, g4, knight f6, because if had black tried to play a6 trying to drive the bishop away, gets black nowhere because of bishop a4, a5, bishop b5, a4, bishop takes a4, knight a6, bishop b5, knight b8. So king f6, and then white played f4, king e7, king f2, king d8, king e2, king e7. Because if black had played king c7, then h5, king takes b7, h6, and the pawn promotes. So after king e7, king d3, king d6, king c3, f6, king b4, e5, d takes e5 check, f takes e5, and then f takes c5 check, king takes e5. Now white played king c5, king e6. And then after h5, black resigns. Because let's say if black continued with g takes h5, then g takes h5, king f6, king d6, a6, and king c7, white wins. So that was the game. Now let's look at few principles, some lessons learned from this game. Number one, good positions create tactics. When your position is strong, tactics appear naturally. Number two, more space means more options. White's pieces had freedom while black was cramped and short on good moves. Number three, use open files actively. Open files are best used to place rooks on strong squares that cannot be chased away. Number four is exchange pieces when cramped. If your position is tight, trading pieces can help relieve pressure. Number five, passed pawns win games. White patiently turned blocked pawns into dangerous passed pawns. Number six, trap pieces and exploit them. Black's trapped knight became a long-term weakness. Number seven, attack on both sides of the board. Play on one flank, forced weaknesses on the other. And the last one, number 8, convert calmly. White improved the position step by step instead of rushing. Thank you for watching. I hope you learned something from this game as well. Please don't forget to like and comment and share and subscribe to my channel. I'll see you in the next video. Thank you. Bye-bye.